All right, welcome back. I need to grab my scissors. Hold on. Okay, so getting our hoops ready to stitch on. Get my fabric over here. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is cut some fabric. If you ordered a kit, you'll get a square piece, but I don't normally cut squares. I just cut whatever. Like you can see, like these are like rounded out. I just cut around. I like to have about an inch on every side. So this is a 6-inch hoop. So an inch on each side would mean like an 8 or 9 inch piece of fabric. So this is my way. Feel free to cut out a square if you want to cut out a square. I am just not super worried about it. If you ordered a kit, you'll get a square, but normally this is what I do. So my hoop, I just measure around my hoop like this, and then it's ready to go. So you just need a piece that will fit into your hoop. So I'm going to stitch in this plastic hoop because that's what I like to stitch in, but you can stitch in whatever hoop you're finishing in if you want. So first thing is open up your hoop so that you can get out the inner hoop. I said it in the previous video, but I'm going to say it again. If you're using a bamboo hoop, just make sure you mark the center. You want the center of your inner hoop to go back to the center of the outer hoop so that you don't have any issues with gaps. Okay? Okay, so we're going to take out that inner hoop. We're going to put it on the bottom. We're going to put our fabric on top of that, and then our outer hoop on top of that, and get that in place. Okay, we're not done. This is a very important step, making sure that your hoop is tight, that your fabric is tight. Your stitches are going to look sloppy if you don't have a tight hoop. So I like to tighten this and then pull the fabric, and then tighten it and pull the fabric again. So I just go around and I hold on to the inside and the outside while I pull the fabric in there. And just all the way around. When I'm using a hoop like this, I also have a screwdriver that I can use to tighten this. This one has a flat head. This one has a Phillips head. If it doesn't have one, I have pliers that I use to tighten the hoop. These plastic ones though, I don't need anything. I can just do it with my fingers. It'll get really tight. So I'm just gonna do this one more time. Make sure it's as tight as I want it to be. Okay, so when you have your hoop, you should be able to, it should be like drum tight, like you can hear that drum tightness, okay? Next thing we're gonna do is cut off any corners. If you have a square piece, this is why I don't care about squares, because your fabric, and not your fabric, your thread will get caught on these edges when you're pulling it through. So just make it circular, make it easier on yourself. Don't cut it too short because we are gonna use this extra fabric to close up the back when we're done, but it doesn't need to be perfect. Just cut off any like little corners, because I promise you your thread will get stuck on it and it will be annoying. Okay, so this is ready. What we're gonna do next is put our pattern on there. Okay, so first thing you can do, if you print out your pattern, it should print into a 6-inch circle. Trim the edges as much as you need to. I usually cut on the inside of this black circle, so you won't see that at all. Just like cut off the black circle, and then you can I usually hold my paper up against the back like this, and then hold it up like by a window like this, and then I can see the pattern through it. if I print out a pattern, that's what I do. But normally I don't print out a pattern. I trace from my iPad. So so like this, I usually get it to the size I need and then do a screenshot. No, your class is not open till after lunch, buddy. Turn up your brightness all the way. And then we're going to trace it backwards. So this is the top. We're going to put the top down. This is a little bit too big. So if you make this a little smaller and then do a screenshot, or Roman, I'm not talking right now. You want to eat at school? Yeah. Okay, we can talk about that in a minute. Let me finish my video and then we can talk about it, okay? Okay. I usually just bring mine up in Procreate because that's what I use to draw patterns. But you can also like screenshot and make it the correct size. But I'm going to do it this way because that's what I normally do. So I'm going to make this a little smaller. That's good. And then if you have guided access, if you have an iPad, you have guided access. Sometimes you just have to turn it on. But if you triple click over here, it'll turn on guided access. See, so it says guided access enabled. So then like this will not move. Like you can't do anything on your screen. So that's what I do when I trace. So a couple of things while you're tracing. If you're using a pencil, I would not draw these inner lines. Those are just like the spaces that we're going to use to stitch in. We're not actually going to stitch these lines. We're just going to do the different things in them. So I usually start just wherever I feel like and go from there. I also freehand a lot when I'm tracing patterns. I am not super worried about it being exact because I'm using this pen. I'm just not super worried about it. So I couldn't find my black marker, so I'm using a pen today. But I feel like the marker is smoother. The pens are great too, but I don't love them on linen. I like them a lot more on Aida or the Kana cotton. Okay, so we're gonna draw our flowers in here. So with this pattern, we're gonna like practice stitches on the sides, and then we're gonna use those stitches to stitch the flowers. So it's kind of a little bit like a sampler. Like we'll learn a whole bunch of stitches and then we'll use them to complete the pattern. See, I have to keep going over it. It bugs me when I have to draw over it 100 times. That's why I like the markers on linen. Okay. Another swirly over here. Okay, I'm gonna draw these lines because I know that they'll erase for me. But if you don't want to, don't feel pressured. Okay. There we go. Pattern traced and ready to go. Okay. Last thing I do, I don't like to stitch with like this lip in here. That bugs me. So I am going to flip this over. So I'm just gonna loosen this and flip it over. Put this down, put this down. And then center this. Oh, I didn't pull this out quite enough. There we go. Not quite centered anymore. But that's okay, because when I finish it, I'll center it. It's a little bit further this way, but if that bugs you, it might bug me. So I'm just gonna scoot this over a little. There we go. Tighten that. Okay. There we go. Ready to go. Okay, so we start stitching a week from today. I need to look at my schedule and see times. Most likely we'll be doing like 1 p.m. Mountain time because all my kids will be in school at that time. And we won't have Roman shenanigans, which we normally have during stitch along. So I will post that information later this week on my grid and in my stories so you will know what's going on. But we are ready to go. So I will see you Monday. Let me know if you have any questions before then and can't wait to get started. Bye.